Hi from Sarah and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Since you seem to like the idea, I'm showing you today another basic Tunisian stitch worked in the round using two colors. So today I am showing you how to make the Tunisian Purl Stitch worked in the round, or let's say how it looks when worked in two colors also. So let's start. Here I have started from a long-ish chain of a number of stitches. I don't even know how many stitches I have chained because, as you know, the Tunisian Purl Stitch does not need a specific number of multiple of stitches to be worked. I've just made this chain long enough to be closed easily in the round. So here I am. I will close this chain into a circle, into a ring, making sure that the chain is not twisted. So like this, slip stitching into the very first stitch. Here I am. Now I have the tail in between. So this is my slip stitch. So, and here I will begin pulling up loops on the hook, and I will do it creating a foundation round. That is to say, I'm going to pick up loops, taking them either from the front loop or from the back bump, as is the case when we want to obtain a perfect border. Okay, so I will, to be quicker, I will just pull up loops, taking them from the front chain so as to be quicker. And as you see, I am using the standard method, so I'm not purling any stitches. So here I will proceed, as you know, as long as I'm able to pull up loops easily and comfortably on the hook, which is of course a double-ended Tunisian crochet hook, and always making sure that I do not twist the chain. Okay, let's see now. I have pulled up on the hook a considerable amount of loops, of stitches. So let's say I want to make the return pass now. So I will turn my hook and bring the loops to the working tip, to the opposite working tip. Now I will take my secondary color in contrasting shade, this hot pink, let's say. I will attach it here, and just for this first time I will pull through one loop only. And then I will proceed with the standard return pass, yarning over and pulling through two loops together at the same time, one loop in color hot pink and the other in the main color yellow. Okay, so just for the very first return pass I will first pull through one loop only, and then for the remaining of the project I will, every time I resume my return pass, because it's a continuous return pass and a continuous forward pass, I will do so yarning over and pulling through two loops together. Okay, always leaving about 3 to 4 loops on the hook to maintain the tension, as I said. Okay, so now what I will do, I will turn my hook again and resume the forward pass until I finish my round. And whenever I feel the need to, I will proceed with the partial return pass, following the instructions I've just given you. Okay, so here I have finished, let's say I have pulled up all stitches that make up of the total amount of stitches I have initially chained, and I need to make my another return pass. And as I said, I will yarn over and pull through two loops together. from now on always like this. So here I have my 4 loops left after the return pass. Now I'll turn my hook again and I will resume the forward pass with the yellow yarn, but using the Tunisian Purl Stitch now. Okay. So now you know that this is round 1 that coincides with the foundation round of the project. We will be working in spiraling rounds, so this means we will not slip stitch into the beginning stitch, but keep on working in spiraling rounds instead. But we know that the round is finished because we have either placed a stitch marker here, or we see very simply the beginning tail, the tail of the beginning chain hanging here. Okay, so now I can start working in Tunisian Purl Stitch. This is the first stitch, so we will work in Purl Stitch. You know already how to. We need to take into consideration the yellow vertical bars. Okay. And I will proceed working like this in Tunisian Purl Stitch around for a few more rounds, and I'll be back in a minute to show you the result of Tunisian Purl Stitch when worked in the round using 2 different colors. So here I'm back, and I've worked a couple more rounds in Tunisian Purl Stitch using 2 colors, and this is the result. You can already see the stitch pattern. The Purl Stitch creates these lovely little cells, let's say. So I think this stitch could be beautiful when worked in the round using 2 colors for a variety of projects, like, for example, even sweaters. And did you know, by the way, that I very often use the Tunisian Purl Stitch when I make a project in another stitch, so as to avoid the curling here at the borders. So this is one useful tip for you when you start a project and you don't want it to curl outwards. Always start with a row, at least 1 row in one round or row, yes, in Tunisian Purl Stitch, and then you can proceed on with the stitch of your choice, and you will avoid the curling. So this is one tip, one trick for you. What else? Yes, another important thing when working in Tunisian Purl Stitch is the tension. I must admit, I myself have some problems with the Purl Stitch in maintaining the tension. So it is important that the texture does not look too wobbly. You understand? Because if I keep changing tension, then the cells, let's call them like this, will not be the same. They will be different from one another. Okay. Another important thing is if you tend to have problems at the beginning, the first 1 or 2 rounds, it will be better as you work on round after round or row after row with the Tunisian Purl Stitch. So do not feel disappointed if you feel that at the beginning it is a little bit hard to work in Tunisian Purl Stitch, because it will be better as you proceed with the work. Another important tip is this. Working in spiraling rounds, we will have this ladder here at the beginning, okay? This is another thing that you should not care too much about, because in the end, once you have finished the project, you can skillfully weave in these tails here that should be long enough to be woven in. And this will maybe not completely eliminate, but reduce the ladder here a great deal, so that it will no longer be visible, okay? And now let's proceed to the bind off. You know, I have already made a video regarding how to bind off in Tunisian Purl Stitch, and for the very same reason I mentioned previously, I often like to bind off in Tunisian Purl Stitch, for example, at the final round, or the border, the bottom border of a sweater, so as not to have it curling upwards, let's say. So I often like to finish with a bind off in Tunisian Purl Stitch, which, I remind you, is made like this. So first of all, I need to cast off these 3 loops more. Just for the bind off, you will cast off all loops on the hook except one. So let's do it. And 3, and you finish with the secondary color on the hook. Remember this. So once again, just like I told you last time, you need to take to make a decision here if you want to bind off using the secondary color, or if you want to bind off with the primary color, or if you want to bind off with both colors at the same time. So let's say I want to bind off in the yellow color, which is my main color and the one in which I have begun with a chain. So I will continue like this, only using the yellow color. So I will go round after round, working in Tunisian Purl Stitch, stitch after stitch, and then I pull through here. So I will work again each stitch of the final round in Tunisian Purl Stitch, and then go through the 1 loop on the hook, and I will do so until the end of the round, until I've reached the beginning point again, and then I will cut off yarn, weave it in, and finish the project. Okay, so this will be the bind off, and the very last stitch will be here, and then I will make a slip stitch into the beginning stitch so as to have once again an even border, and then I will cut yarn and weave it in, and that's done. So how do you like it? How do you like the purl stitch worked like this in 2 colors? I think it is pretty. I don't know, I'm not a fan of the purl stitch. I don't know why. I don't like it too much. But maybe because it takes me a little bit more time to execute the stitch itself than other stitches. I don't know. Or maybe because of the tension problem I mentioned before. Anyway, this is the stitch. It can be even used for beautiful cowls or sweaters, as I said. So tell me in the comments if you like it, and I thank you for following me, for subscribing to my channels, and for leaving comments. This is it for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and you can also go and take a look at my second channel, which is all in Italian, but it's all dedicated on Tunisian crochet. I'm starting all over again from the beginning, and it is subtitled in English and other languages. And this is it. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye-bye.